Dale Wilcox joins me now. He is the executive director and general counsel for the Immigration Reform Law Institute, otherwise known as IRLI, and he has an exclusive story for Breitbart News Sunday. Dale, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Amanda.
So your organization is going to be announcing tomorrow a lawsuit that I know our audience is going to greatly appreciate. Tell me about it.
Well, we're getting a little tired of these state and local jurisdictions who are thumbing their nose at our duly enacted immigration laws. So just last week, we sued East Chicago, Indiana for a sanctuary ordinance. And tomorrow morning, we are filing suit against Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf over our public records request that we submitted months ago regarding her tip-off of the ICE operation that was going to occur in the San Francisco Bay Area.
So what are the grounds of this lawsuit? I mean, what are you actually suing for?
Well, we've requested from her office all records, including emails, between her and her chief of staff, director of public safety, police chief, and director of communications, among others, regarding their communications regarding that ICE raid that was to happen that she alerted the public to. If you remember, she tweeted out to the public, she got advance notice that there was going to be an ICE operation in her area, and she tweeted that out to the public so that illegal aliens could abscond the area and avoid arrest. And she went even further. She alerted the local business community so that those employers who are employing illegal aliens could tell their employees not to show up to work the next day or the day after when the raid was to occur.
Yeah,
so
I mean...
her actions were outrageous and reckless to the safety of the residents in her community. I think ICE reports that 800 illegal aliens avoided capture because of her tip-off. We're talking about criminal aliens. So it just boggles the mind what kind of public official would want to jeopardize her community.
I'm curious, should you actually get these documents, these communications, what do you think are in them? Like just, what are, in your wildest imagination, what do you think you'd find?
Well, I mean, I think they're going to expose their radical open border philosophy and how they've been scheming. She's been scheming with the chief of police, and she had mentioned in news reports about conversations she's had with her chief of police over tipping off illegal aliens. And she's been quite brazen. I mean, she's actually said she's willing to go to jail to defend criminal illegal aliens. I mean, how extreme at the risk of the safety of her residents, and not to mention the rest of us, because these illegal aliens are not tied to Oakland. They can move about the United States freely, so it endangers all of us.
Yeah, for sure. Now, talk to me about these California sanctuary laws as a whole. I mean, I was reading a little bit about this HB 450. It prohibits private employers from cooperating with ICE. I mean, these laws seem kind of insane. Help me with them.
Well, yeah, there's actually 3 laws that are being challenged by the United States in their lawsuit against California. And the first one is California SB 54, which is just a straight-up sanctuary state law that says don't cooperate with ICE, don't give them any, or you're not allowed to give them any information, on and on. You're not allowed to participate in the 287G program, which state and local police can cooperate with ICE and perform essentially immigration officer duties and assist. And then you have the bill that you had mentioned that prohibits private employers from communicating with ICE and or allowing ICE into non-public areas of their places of employment. This is the state of California telling private employers, we're not talking about public agencies, private employers, you're not allowed to cooperate with ICE either. So, and then there's a third law that was recently passed that puts a bunch of restrictions on any detention facilities who house illegal aliens. what they can and cannot do, and it requires them to open their books to the state so that they can see what ICE is doing. I mean, it's just absurd.
Yeah, it's almost as if like the connection is the California executive, like this mayor, she's acting as the lookout, and then the California legislator is basically doing the same thing, but just through laws. It's just they're all working together, not for in the best interest of American citizens, but for illegal aliens. Talk to me. I want to zoom out a bit, and I want to talk about public officials that are pulling this shenanigans elsewhere. And you talked about California, you mentioned Indiana, but where else is this happening?
Oh my goodness. My sister organization, the Federation for American Immigration Reform, put out a report last week that stated that more than half of United States residents live in a sanctuary jurisdiction. Since President Trump has taken office, it's been like dominoes with these open borders agitators. They have the sanctuary policies have just multiplied. So it's happening all over the United States, and we see particularly in Illinois, Chicago area, New York, areas that have large immigrant populations. And of course, we know what the politicians, what's behind their push for open borders. It's a desire for more votes. Eventually, they if they get the say, if they get citizenship, then they're going to vote. And we see, sadly, that one party has adopted a position on this issue, and they're counting on those votes in the future so they will regain power or never lose power.
Yeah. Talk to me about specifically this Indiana lawsuit. It's like East Chicago. I mean, what is happening there? I mean, I'm reading this and it just seems like I don't even understand how these situations even exist, because there's no way that I could live in a community where illegal, alien criminals are allowed to stay and then commit more crimes.
You're right. It makes no sense. We've actually sued Gary, Indiana, and East Chicago just last week. We sued Gary in December of last year. And that case is ongoing. And good news here is, as of last Monday, the court in that case approved the state of Indiana. The Attorney General Curtis Hill has intervened on behalf of the state to seek invalidation of Gary's sanctuary ordinance. Gary has passed an ordinance that says that its police officers, its local officials, cannot cooperate with federal immigration authorities. They can't inform ICE when they ask when a criminal is going to be released from their jails. It blocks them from turning over criminals to ICE. It's amazing what these jurisdictions will go to. Well, it's kind of amusing. This is being pushed by open borders groups and individuals because the identical down to the typo ordinance was passed in East Chicago. So this is a coordinated plot planned by the open borders groups to facilitate these sanctuary city ordinances all over the country. And so we've challenged East Chicago now. We've sued them, and I'm sure the state of Indiana will intervene on our behalf there to see that statute gets knocked down.
I have a few other stories. I just want to pick your brain on New York Governor Cuomo. He has recently come out saying ICE enforcement has to be stopped. Can he do this? What are your thoughts?
No, he can't.
Okay.
It's federal law.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing. Everything that acting ICE Director Homan has been doing is pursuant to law. They have not stretched the law. They've just enforced the law as written. I mean, if these people want different laws, then convince the American people that criminals should stay in our communities and then go change the law. I mean, he has no power to do that except, they might try to pass sanctuary bills, but there's a line they cannot cross. And when they do cross that, my organization will step up and we'll take them to court. And hopefully the administration, which they've shown in California, is willing to do the same.
Yeah. Again, folks, I'm talking to Dale Wilcox. He is with IRLI. It's the Immigration Reform Law Institute. And we're talking about various lawsuits that they're launching against these different sanctuary cities across our country. Dale, another question that I wanted to get your thoughts on is Attorney General Sessions. He has his latest moves to close catch and release loopholes are now looking like, the parents are going to be separated from the kids. And there's this huge, backlash. Like, we can't do this. This is horrible. What are your thoughts on this?
I think he's doing the right thing. He's just recently issued a zero tolerance policy. If you want to keep families together, don't come to the country unlawfully. That's the bottom line. The open borders agitators, they always play the emotional side because the facts and the law are against them. So what they do is they play on people's emotions. It's unfortunate that these people who come here do this. They come here knowing that this is a consequence. I mean, we cannot not enforce our law because we feel bad for people, and certainly we do. They come from maybe crime-ridden areas, but that's not a reason you can immigrate to the United States unlawfully. It's just not.
Absolutely.
So it's a choice, and you hear these people saying, with illegal aliens who are in the United States who have come here unlawfully, have been here years, oh, you're separating families by, taking this person away or that. No, you made that choice. That was your decision. We have a law, it's clearly written, and you have to follow the law. Otherwise, we turn into the countries they left. They left countries who maybe, corruption reigns. Well, that's not the United States. We are ruled by law here.
So you were actually just breaking up just a bit there. Can you just sort of rehash just what you said? We lost you just for a little bit.
We have to obey the law.
Gotcha.
Sessions is doing nothing cruel. The individuals who come here, they know what our law is. They know that a consequence of them coming here might mean separation. It's their choice. They are the ones who have chosen to take that risk.
Right.
It's unfortunate. My heart goes out to people who come from impoverished situations and maybe crime-ridden, but there are legal ways to come to the United States. We have to enforce the law. Otherwise, we become like those nations where they left, where corruption reigns. We cannot have that.
Dale, where can people go? I mean, this is just all so fascinating. It just still boggles my mind that we're even having these conversations. We live in a country where our own government officials put illegal aliens before American citizens. But where can people go to learn more about your organization, follow you guys, maybe get involved in your efforts if they so choose?
Oh, absolutely. You can find us on the web at IRLI.org. And then you can find us on Facebook just by searching for Immigration Reform Law Institute. And on Twitter, our Twitter handle is at IRLI Law. And, we've recently put together a network of attorneys because, as you saw when President Trump dropped that national security executive order, you had the open border agitators, the lawyers running to the airports to assist. Well, we've put together a new network of attorneys called Attorneys United for a Secure America. And I would encourage any attorneys out there or private investigators or those who have legal experience, if you would like to get involved with that, you can come to our website and check that out. And we would love to hear from you.
Yeah, it's very good to know we've got lawyers like you guys on the right side of this issue, because we all know that the left is, they're definitely armed when it comes to these legislative court struggles that we've been seeing in the wake of Donald Trump just attempting to get his agenda done. Dale, thank you so much for calling into Breitbart News Sunday and sharing this great story about your lawsuit tomorrow.